Dear brother, heartbreak hurts. There's times, man, where you got to be a man and not be a giant, and you got to deal with what's happening in your life. See, even though the heartbreak is there, it doesn't have to break you. And sometimes when love is lost, man, it's easy to lose yourself. That's the thing. Don't lose yourself. At the same time, man, a breakup can be a turning point for you. It's not that you got to celebrate the breakup, man. That's why we're talking today. But can it be a turning point for you? Can you learn things about yourself that you never knew? Can you learn that maybe you gave much more of yourself away than maybe you should have? Can you see that maybe at times you didn't appreciate yourself the way you should have, or perhaps you never appreciated yourself going in? See, today we're going to deal with the hurt. We're going to reclaim the strength that you need, man. We're going to help you rise from the ashes of that breakup. It's not to say she was a bad person. There's no need to dog anyone out, because this is why we have the Dear Brother podcast. We don't blame people here. Grown men grow even more, right? So now we're going to rise instead of crumble. See, feel the pain, number one. Feel the pain. Don't numb it. You got to feel it. Acting like you don't care, being evil or mean, that don't help you. See, suppressing your emotions, man, it only delays the healing. It only delays it, man. It don't help you no more. Trying to be angry, upset, man, all that, it doesn't help you, bro. I know it feels good, but it only feels good for a moment. And like I always show you, brothers, sometimes that instant gratification is man's biggest enemy. We just want to feel better, so we do sometimes foolish things instead of feeling. You got to grieve the loss. Sometimes we talk about grief when somebody dies, man, but there's times in your life where you gotta feel grief while the person's still there, because things have changed. Sometimes you got to grieve change before you grieve loss. See, crying is needed. I know some of you tough guys going to watch this. Oh, man, I'm turning this off, because you ain't grown yet enough to know what tears do for you. It's needed. Why? Because you let out that pain. You let off the weight off your back of the heartbreak. Pain is a part of the process. You can't avoid pain, man. Why? Because someone was a part of you. It's like taking someone away from you, taking someone out of you, especially if you were really in love. I'm talking to grown men today, man. See, the thing is, man, you got to detach your identity from the relationship. Christian, what you talking about? Yeah. Sometimes we lose our identity in who we love when you really love. See, you're more than who you were when you were with her. Sometimes we as husbands that are going through divorce, I've been through divorce. When you really love a girl and that was your favorite girl, man, you locked in. But you got to rediscover yourself outside of her. Rediscover yourself out of those days and hours that you spent with her. Right? It's not a bad thing that you got lost in a relationship. Relationship does that to you. But at the same time, you got to rediscover yourself and don't let yourself get stuck there. You got to rediscover your passions. You got to rediscover what mattered to you. You got to rediscover your goals, man, your purpose. That's what it's all about. See, it was never only about y'all, right? Because it took two people to make that relationship, but you can't lose yourself inside of it, bro. So you got to rediscover. You got to detach your identity from just a relationship. Who was I before I was here? What did I love? What did I enjoy? What mattered to me? Because sometimes when you go through a bad breakup, man, you gotta find it again. Why? Because everything was vested here. Another thing you got to do is you got to set boundaries to heal. You got to set boundaries to heal, right? A lot of us try to stay in but stay out. No, you got to set boundaries to really heal. What you talking about, Christian? I'm talking about late night texts. I'm talking about when you're sitting there lonely trying to figure it out. When your mind is going and going and going and you're rehearsing everything that you went through in that relationship, every argument, every up and down, you looking at the high spot saying, man, did I make a bad decision? You got to stop the late night text. You got to stop the checking their social media. You got to not worry about maybe she's with somebody else, right? Distance is necessary for healing. It's necessary for healing. You got to feel the distance, bro. If you don't feel the distance, you'll forever connected, and you'll always be finding yourself in a place where it's more about her and more about y'all than it is about you. Distance helps heal the emotional ties that we go through. Give yourself time to recover, bro. Give yourself time to recover, and always worried about where she is or what she's doing. It won't let you do that. Now, I'm not saying these things as if they're easy. I'm saying these things as if they're necessary, bro. Another good thing you got to do, you got to lean on brotherhood. Don't isolate yourself from everybody, because then you just stay in this mental box. The biggest battle for a man is right here. This is the battlefield of your mind. But you know what? Also, don't hang around a bunch of men that just talk down on women. That ain't going to help. Again, that's just instant gratification. Make you feel angry enough not to care. But you know when you go and you be by yourself, you still going to care. You're still going to deal with it. So surround yourself with good friends, good mentors, people that uplift you. Not just uplift you by tearing her down, but uplift you. Because again, the whole goal is to get back to you, not be stuck just on her. Again, you got to get with people without judgment, people that's not going to judge you for how you feel, people that's not going to judge you for your honesty, bro. Not going to tell you, oh, you acting weak, or no, you acting like a man. You're being a real man by being in touch with this, right? It's important. Got to remind yourself of your worth. See, a lot of times when you're in love, man, your whole worth comes from what she says and what she did and how she made you feel. You gotta reattach to how you feel about yourself and you feel about your goodness. One of the things I tell people to practice all the time, man, sometimes you need a piece of paper. Start writing down all the brilliant things about you. Start writing down all those brilliant dreams that you might have put to the side for that moment that you were with her. You know, for that moment that you put aside. You know, some of your dreams and goals, man. Sometimes that woman's love can become your goal, right? And you got to rediscover what your goals were. Where were you at before this? I'm going to give you a pause, bro, because this is a lot to think about, right? And all that energy you go through in your mind and your heart and your emotions, you know what? That energy has to go somewhere. If you don't put that energy somewhere, you'll be negative, or you'll do something negative, or you're always checking on her, driving past her house and all that sort of thing. That energy has to go somewhere. So where should it go? It has to go in your growth. It has to go in rebuilding you. You got to use that pain as fuel. That's what you got to do. You know, some of us are going to hit the gym. Some of us are going to write. You know, some of us are going to take a drive. You know, some of us are going to replan, rebuild, build the company again, build yourself up again. Some of us are going to build friendships that we might have put aside. But you got to put that energy somewhere so you don't be destroyed by that energy. If you just hold it here, it'll destroy you. Put that energy on something that matters that'll take you forward. So you got to focus on self-improvement, man. Self-awareness, self-improvement. How do I get back to me? Because you still matter in this whole thing. See, the breakup can be the catalyst for all that. It can be. I know you're looking at me now like, man, well, you know, how am I going? No, it can be a catalyst for all that. Because sometimes the breakup was because you forgot about all that. I went through that before. Everything was about her. Everything was about her. And my whole soul was about her. And I couldn't find myself outside of her. Right? But I'm telling you, if I could tell you the whole story, you would find out, bro, that now these days, I say that was the best thing that ever happened to me. Because I was so lost in her. I was so lost in what I did for people, traveling the world, speaking to people. I was so lost in the desires and the things for other people that I lost me somewhere. The greatest thing I could ever do was be crushed. And I was crushed in that relationship. And I couldn't see it then, but I see it now. See it now like never before. I lost me. The greatest thing you can ever do is rediscover yourself, bro. Become a better version of yourself. You got to forgive, man. And you got to forgive and you got to release the resentment. Go check out my other podcast on forgiveness, man. Why it's necessary for men to forgive. See, holding on to that anger, bro, and that bitterness is going to keep you chained to the past for too long. My former mentor would tell me all the time. My mentor now, he told me years ago, man, don't go too far, stay too long, and come back too late. I want to add a piece to that. You might not be able to find you anymore. So for forgiveness, the whole thing about forgiveness is not for them. Because breaking up is not that they did anything wrong. Forgiveness is not for them, bro. It's for you. It's for you to be able to move forward without carrying the guilt, the shame, right? That nagging feeling of that emotional baggage. It's all over you. It's on your back. See, the thing about a breakup, man, it starts light. Oh, man, you're not going to get through this. But you carry something long enough. It breaks your heart after a while. It gets heavier than you ever thought. You know, you can carry something, I don't know, I could take my little hot cup right here. And I can have my hot cup in my hand. But let me carry it all day long. After a while, this thing will feel like 1,000,000 pounds because I carried it too long. Got to know when to give it up, bro. Trust that love will find you again. See, a lot of us say, oh, that's woman talk. No, it's man talk. Trust that love will find you again. I know it feels impossible right now, but time heals. It does. It's not an old saying. It's a true saying. Time heals. One of the biggest things we do to ourselves as men is we can't control our pace in life and even with stuff like this and breakups. Trying to control your pace. Or you jump in and get with somebody else. You know, there was an old saying, men used to say, man, the best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody else. Man, come on, let's just talk. That don't fix nothing. The next girl ain't gonna fix nothing. You gotta fix you, bro. And again, it may feel impossible right now, man, but it's not. Because when you when you fully heal, love will come back to you. Why? Because it's about you and your goals, and you're not just giving them up for anybody. In fact, at that point, you're sharing them. You're not releasing your dreams for another. You're not releasing your dreams for the relationship, for the dream of the relationship. You got to bring your dream. She bring her dream. Y'all dream together. That's what real love is. Love is not sacrificing your whole life for somebody else, because then how can you be happy? You're spending so much time trying to make them happy, you lose yourself. That's for women and men. You got to bring yourself to the relationship so you're doing something together. It's not just about building each other, man. It's about building a life together. And so sometimes you got to go through that breakup to find out, man, this is what this thing was all about. It's about bringing my best self, not hiding who I was or putting myself to the side. Real love can't be born out of that. See, when you go through these things, then you'll be ready. You'll be stronger. Your heart will be stronger. Your mind will be stronger. You'll go in with a clear head. Because that's really what it's all about. You can get over this breakup, bro. It's not the end of your life. It's not all over. It feels like it, but feelings are fleeting, bro. Don't just trust those feelings. Feelings come, feelings go. But what I gave you today is fact. Hey, man, I love you. Make sure you love yourself. Don't hold on to bitterness, anger, because it don't help nobody. Build yourself up. Build your mind back up. Build your heart back up. So not only can you be ready for love, you can be ready for a better life, a better you, a better future. Amen. Live this life with no fear, no shame, and no compromise. You hear what I'm saying? And like we always end every podcast, yesterday is history and tomorrow's a mystery. All you got is right now. What you going to do with it? What you going to do about it, man? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, become part of this community, the Dear Brother Podcast, where grown men grow even more. Amen. It's on you now. Be big today. Be brilliant. See you soon. Peace.